Okay, so here's my final test render. And actually this went pretty quickly for me. It took only about 7.5 minutes. It's just about done with this last little square. We still had the noise set relatively high, actually very high, and some of the other settings were set low. This furniture layout's really bothering me, so I'm gonna change it now. Um, I'm gonna try to set up my final render. If you ever close out and you want to get that back, just go render setup, Vray, show last VFB, Vray frame buffer, and that'll bring it back. To save the images, you just click this little guy right here, save. For now, let's just save them as JPEG since we're not going to do any post-production on these. And I would stick it in your they should have a render output folder in your viz. Put it in there and maybe do this as interior test 1 and save it. Do it as the best quality, largest, normal, okay, and save it off. So now I want to do a final render, and there are ways to do a final render really fast by just sampling a certain part of the image. So and maybe what I want to do too is mess around with a couple of the materials and order some things a little bit differently. So let me try a couple things. First of all, I think I want to change this material and I want to move some furniture around. So I'm going to go ahead and, at long last, get rid of this thing, which just looks so weird here. And then I'm going to take this guy, which I believe is in several parts. Isn't he? There we go. Rotate him around. Doesn't seem like you'd want to be looking out when you're sitting here. So that's what I would want to do. Oops. I missed some things. Let's see if I got it this time. Nope. I'm gonna get this all selected and group it so I don't have to do this funniness again. If you ever want to get other stuff, you can go to Model Plus Model or Design Connected or Turbo Squid. There's all kinds of sites for learning how to do this stuff and getting other free models. I'm going to set this just so that it's just kind of just off the screen, and these are kind of looking at each other just like that. And then I think what I want to do is adjust this material. So one of the things I can do to do that is I can go to my little pick tool, and I have a couple of open spots, and I can pick that leather material, and then it'll pull it up and it'll give me what it is. And I want to swap this out for another material, so what I can do is go here, material, select by material, select, then I can go get material, and I can choose another material or make it. But what I think I'm going to do is do this. I'm going to get that guy because I kind of like that material. It's sort of brownish leather. And then I'm going to go assign to selection, and that should give it there. So that assigned it to everything, which I did not want it to do. Let me try this again. Select by material. Assign to selection. It wants to group it. Okay. Let me select this guy and ungroup him. Select. Assign to selection. not doing it. Select by material. You're in there, I know. Aha, these aren't turned on. There we go. So now these are kind of matching, so that's nice. So then I want to go in and put my render settings back where they belong. 2000, 2000, 0.01, and 0.01. You could also try 0.05 if you want. It's going to take twice as long to render, so it'll be a couple hours to render that one probably. So, which is not uncommon. I usually hit the render button and go to bed and let it go. But let's call that good. And I think we hit everything right. So that's going to do it. That's going to be our final render setup. We've done it all. The last thing I'm going to check before I hit the button, I'm just going to go through my materials one more time and make sure I've got all the subdivisions set right. Let's make that 16. Anything that has the reflect glossy, make sure those subdivisions are set to like 32. Let's see here. Yeah, that should be 32. That should be 32. Except that's not in the scene, is it? But that should be 32. Good, good. Oh, 32. Yep, yep, good, nice. Just checking in on all of them. If you're getting some noise in your final render, you may even need to turn this up to like 64. And those are all my tree materials. I think they're fine. I'm going to double check and make sure my displacement's turned on. Everything's good. Anything else I need to do? That should do it. I'm going to hit it. Here I go. I'll check in with you a little bit when this is done.